Sportsbook. Joe, who do you like to hit the mark? Texans, Patriots.
Drake May, 30-plus rushing yards. This is going to be a low-scoring game. Every single yard is going to count. Drake May's averaging 6 rushing attempts per game on the season. Ran for 66 yards against the Chargers last week. As elite as that Houston defense is, quarterbacks can run on them. 10th most rushing yards allowed to opposing QBs this season because they flush you out of the pocket and then you take off. We like May to run for 30 or more yards.
All right, that's the early game Sunday. Let's go to the night game. What do you like on the Rams?
Blake Corum, 46-plus rushing yards. The Bears rank 24th in defensive rush success rate. You can run on these guys. Enter Corum, averaging over 5 yards per carry on the season, double-digit rushing attempts in 5 of his last 6 games. Pay attention, Rams are 3.5-point favorites, so if they're leading late in the game, they'll be running the ball to kill the clock. That's where Corum could rack up some bonus yards.
All right, and how about the other side? Give me something from the Bears.
Rome Odunze, 40-plus receiving yards. Cheap price because he only caught 2 passes last week coming back from injury against the Packers. However, those 2 passes went for 44 receiving yards. The vulnerability of the Los Angeles Rams is the secondary. 10th most receiving yards allowed to opposing wide receivers. You can throw on these guys. This is supposed to be a very cold game, so a lot of people are making the mistake thinking it's going to be low scoring. Don't make that mistake. This game has sneaky shootout potential.
By the way, that play remains the most watchable play maybe of the NFL season. So recapping, if you like the picks, they're a parlay. Drake May over on the rushing yards, Corum over on the rushing yards, Odunze over on the receiving yards. They've parlayed them together with the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Look for the Hitting the Mark featured parlay priced at plus 506 odds. Okay, so let's look at that game then more closely. So we got Rams at Bears Sunday night. What more could you ask for? Frigid Soldier Field. Fans there at a frenzied pitch. And the relationship between the coaches is one that I think is also fascinating.
There's some great offensive play callers this weekend. We've got Sean Payton, we've got Kyle Shanahan, and then there might be 2 no better than these 2, Ben Johnson and Sean McVay. But last week, after the game, of course, you saw Ben Johnson blow off Matt LaFleur, and then you saw the locker room video that the social media team posted where he sang blank the Packers. And then he had a 24-hour time to really reflect on it and still said, I feel the same way, and my owner's got my back. Well, they asked Sean McVay about it, who, by the way, is best friends with LaFleur and who's the head coach of the offensive coordinator, Mike LaFleur, who is Matt LaFleur's little brother. Take a listen to what Sean said this week.
What would you guess? No, you know what? We watch the tape, we do our work, and, Matt is a very close friend of mine.
I think there's a little bit more going
I love
on.
it.
We watch the tape,
love it.
we do the work.
We talk about giving jerseys to each other after the games, and we do the sportsmanship thing. There is some real blood here and some no love lost. I'm here for it. I need this in my life.
Healthy dislike. It's great. I mean it that way.
No, this
as
is
it
great
should be.
for the National Football League. Like, everything doesn't have to be kumbaya. I get it. Every now and then you like that from coaches and players. But it's okay to go back old school and not like one another and then have these rivalries between coaches. And then when you have a brother that's a part of another staff and a guy that coached with the guy that you don't like, I like this. This is playoff football, in my opinion. I like this from a head coaching perspective.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, look, it's good theater. It's good entertainment. But you know what? Ben Johnson ain't strapping up on the game day, and neither is Sean. So look, really, what it's going to come down to. I'll tell you what, though. I like how the Rams match up against the Chicago Bears.
Tell me why.
Because, look, in the end, Chicago cannot afford to start this game slowly. You don't want to be playing from a deficit against this team that has, I think they're number 6 in pass rush win rate over the past month in terms of the Rams front 7. Look, you do not want Jared Verse coming after your quarterback. Okay, you don't want him being able to play you very much so with a one-track mind, meaning that they're just going to be able to rush the passer because you can't run the football because you're behind. And on top of it, hey, look, there are some issues with the Rams secondary. We know that. We know the corner situation is a problem. And just like the secondary situation is a little bit of an issue for Chicago. This game, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, regardless of the weather. I think there's going to be a lot of points put up.
Let me just make sure everyone is up on the weather. We're talking about a really cold game. Can we throw that up there, please? It's B20. Kickoff 21 degrees, feels like 8 degrees. Winds not super high, 10 miles an hour, gusting to 20. I'm looking at Bart, he's laughing.
Well, you know how it is. You're from Northwestern, I'm from Detroit.
Yeah,
That's
it's
Midwest
cold.
weather, baby. That's
Right.
all good. That's Turkey Bowl on Thanksgiving right there.
I got you.
love this type of
Does
football.
that make it a low scoring? Does it impact the team's ability to have high flying offense?
Well, not necessarily. It all depends on if your quarterback got them Junior Whopper hands. You know what I'm saying? That ball becomes slick. You talk about the pigskin. No, because everybody knows that
They don't have that. Matt Stafford and Caleb Williams definitely have the full. They got the double Whopper with extra cheese hands.
What people don't realize, football is pigskin, right? Not like this Egyptian leather that my boy got on right here. You know what I'm saying? It's pigskin. And what happens to leather when it gets cold? The oil comes out, so the ball becomes extremely slick. Also, Doogie knows that it's hard to catch. So you talk about the peanut punch, you talk about turnovers, putting your team on short fields. Ball security is going to be job security. Corinthian leather.
Is the weather a factor in the game or not?
I think it's more so of a factor for receivers because when the weather's that cold, the ball literally feels like a rock. So it's all about how comfortable you can be, making sure your hands are warm. And if a quarterback like Matthew Stafford and Caleb Williams, because their accuracy, can they put the ball on your body a little bit more on certain
The massive X factor is Stafford's got a serious finger injury on his throwing hand that he suffered when he hit the helmet last week, and that's real. So you put the cold weather in there. I don't believe in the whole they're an LA team, they can't compete. Like Blake Corum played at Michigan, Karen Williams played at Notre Dame, like Puka's from BYU. Like the cold weather is not going to be what it is. It's more that type of stuff when he hits his finger and he's feeling sore and it's 8 degrees.
You know what though? I am not doubting that man in the least. We tried to write his obituary back in August when we were talking about his back, and we didn't think that he would even make it through the season. He just comes out and has an MVP type season. They're going to be just fine. This ball is going up.
See, Lou's a defensive player. He knows. Here's the beauty about playing, in this type of cold weather. The pads get stiff and hard like weapons, and the ground becomes like concrete, and you can put people to sleep night time. That's why I love this type of weather.
It sounds like such fun. You make it sound so.
You can crack a helmet. You can crack a helmet in this type of weather.
We've seen that.
You can split somebody's wig, literally, Gurney.
The truth is this: the Bears have had the most miraculous wins all season. The Rams have had the most confounding losses all season. Thursday night against San Francisco, Thursday night against Seattle, the Carolina loss. Something's got to give, or it's a miracle season for the Bears, and they just keep on winning.
And the winner is off to the NFC Championship game. Don't forget, on DraftKings Sportsbook, new customers bet $5 and get
tax. Yeah, that's true. All right, if you love football, this is the place to be. Starting tomorrow, the Bills, they're in the Mile High to take on the number 1 seed in the AFC, Denver Broncos. Sportsbooks anticipating a close one. The Broncos, just 1.5-point favorites. We'll stay on the West Coast. The Seahawks host the division rival 49ers. It's the rubber match. Seattle Sam Darnold, questionable, though. After tweaking his oblique yesterday, Darnold said, quote, he felt a little something, end quote, but said that he will play. On Sunday, the Texans and their defense, goodness gracious, that defense, are taking on Drake May, and the Patriots. Houston might be without Nico Collins, though, after he suffered a concussion in that wild card win against the Steelers. To wrap up Sunday, the Rams, they get the Bears. The temp at kickoff going to be an anticipated 20 degrees with a real feel of 4. No, the game's not in LA. Let's see if the Rams can bear it. Let's go on this little nugget. The home quarterbacks this postseason have only played in 4 career playoff games. Bo Nix, Sam Darnold, Drake May, Caleb Williams have played in just 1 playoff game apiece, while the road QBs have played in 37 playoff games. That is youth versus experience. It is the divisional round, which means it's the divisional round edition of America's favorite game, Fraud or Laud. Randy, do we have low T?
No.
Do we have high T?
No.
What do we have?
Mike T.
We have Mike T, our one and only contestant. It's the only one we need. Mike T, good morning to you. Our first caller this morning is a horse.
Oh. Here's what they have to say.
Oh. As a fellow Mustang myself, a little young colt, let me go ahead and translate. That horse is saying the Broncos are the best AFC team left in the playoffs. Mike T, is that fraud or laud?
Guys, that's laud. Let me tell you why. They are a balanced team. They are efficient on offense, 11th in offensive efficiency. Watching Bo Nix here, it's not great, but it's good enough with Courtland Sutton, RJ Harvey. But on the other side of the ball, they are dominant on defense. They allow the 3rd fewest points in the league. So that's really where their dominance comes from, is up front with a great pass rush. Ironically, even with Sean Payton, the only concern is penalties, 151 penalties, which is way too many.
All right, our next caller, 49ers GM John Lynch, and he's saying his Niners are going to beat Seattle again on the road, just like they did in Week 1, Mike T. Is that fraud or laud?
That is a fraud, and we love John Lynch, but finally, these injuries catch up to these guys. You go back to the beginning of the season, Mikael Williams, their first-round pick, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, but finally last week, guys, right here, George Kittle, carrying Achilles. Not only is he a great receiver, but guys, he's so good in the run game, capturing the edge for Christian McCaffrey. Short week up to Seattle with that dominant defense. I think this is the week that unfortunately these injuries catch up to the Niners.
We'll stay in the NFC. Mike T, our final caller, Bears fan, Shay Cornett. She's saying the Bears have finally found an all-time great quarterback in Caleb Williams. Mike T, fraud or lie?
That's a fraud. Look, we love Shay and we love her passion for the Bears. And Caleb Williams, if he wins 3 more games, guys, he may be an all-time great. But let's, walk before we run, or as Coach Parcells would say, let's not put him in Canton quite yet. Where Caleb Williams deserves a lot of credit is he reduced his sacks. He only was sacked 24 times, 9th best in the league, massive improvement over last year, great trajectory, not an all-time great quite yet.
Not yet is the emphasis. All right, it's time to claim your prize, Mike T. Which prize door are you picking?
Door number 3.
Door number